I really can't say enough about that last episode. Easily the best of the series, I think, in my opinion. I don't even really know. No, my reaction and commentary definitely didn't even do it justice because I was just so engrossed. I don't think I even said much. I've learned since watching it that it was directed by the show's cinematographer, which I guess I should have figured because everything it did stylistically, not the least of which is the transitions we saw in that episode, were just ramped up to 11. Everything about that episode was established by what it did visually. And that choice in direction by having her, it is a woman, right? I think just in general, yeah, Jessica Lee Gangney. I think just in general, this show really reminds us how important cinematographers are to this genre. In retrospect, she was the perfect choice to direct this episode, which may be the most important episode of the series. Beautifully horrific and sad as it introduced us to Gemma and probably Mark, I guess, because we didn't know Mark before all of this, and he's grieving, and the Mark that we've gotten to know over the past couple seasons-ish is a shadow of his former self. We can confidently say that now. I can't imagine a better way to be introduced to Gemma than in that episode, because it was framed by her and Mark remembering their relationship in its best and worst moments. And in that way, we got to experience it and feel what they're feeling. The through line of episode 7 is them thinking about each other, desperately trying to come together in their worst moments in the present. As Mark reintegrates, I think fully by the end of the episode, because there's the sun sort of shining on him at the end. It's like a new day when he wakes up, but he's devastated. I wasn't invested in their relationship at all prior because we just didn't know anything about it. And this did so much to change that, especially because of how much we want Gemma out of there now. It's one thing to empathize with Mark's pain throughout the series. It's another to feel agonizing empathy for Gemma. This episode, that episode, this episode or that episode, I don't know how to say that because I'm recording this before I watch 8. Episode 7 did an amazing job of making us feel for the pair. From the meeting to trying to have a baby, from the honeymoon stage to the bluer moments, devoid of color and reflecting loss, which was the whole stylistic choice. On top of all that, there's so much to talk about in regards to like what Lumen's doing. But I think we're getting close to understanding what they're doing, and I think I know what they're doing now. After watching them test Gemma's personal limits, like they're testing her personal limits. She says she doesn't like writing thank you cards to Mark. Also, are they watching her and him that they know that? Were they under surveillance in some way? Regardless, I think Lumen's goal, and I also say this because we've heard them say things like cure will wash away your pain. I think Lumen's goal might be to sell chips that people can activate whenever they're about to experience pain or discomfort in their lives. Ultimately, Kier's goal would be to create a world without pain. In my reaction to episode 1, I talked about how I hoped the mystery of what Lumen was doing would hammer home the themes of the series, and I've talked a lot about the themes of the series, and I think if that's what they're doing, it really does. That doesn't disappoint at all. It's a perfect haunting evolution of the technology that's at the core of this series that has to deal with pain and misery, not wanting to go to work, taking shortcuts in life to avoid discomfort. We're so obsessed with this idea that pain and discomfort can be mitigated. And I think in their attempts to sell comfort, Lumen and Kier are about to spark a new opioid epidemic of sorts. You can draw so many parallels between Severance and painkillers and what that has done to ravage the world, really, the pharmaceutical companies. And yeah, I don't know why Lumen chose Gemma. Maybe they just thought she was the perfect candidate and kidnapped her or preyed on her desperation in some way. We saw the creepy doctor at the fertility clinic. I didn't really understand what the fertility treatment was. I think one of, if not the biggest question at the center of this series, I don't know why I phrased it like that. A question I think about when I watch this series is, who am I? Who are we? Who are these characters individually to one another? And that's not an easy question to answer, especially when you take into consideration the concept of innie and outie. Who are we without our pain and experiences? And who will Mark be, both Marks, with all of their pain and all of their experiences? I do think he's fully integrated now. I hope so. It'd be a nice way to finish off the season. I don't know if he's going to be in episode 8 because, as you saw at the end of the last reaction, people didn't like episode 8, and I feel like I'm going to be dealing with a filler episode. But I'll get through it. Yeah, it's great stuff. This is definitely one of the best shows of the year, easily. It's, again, one of the best, hands down, one of the best sci-fi shows I have ever seen. I know that's a loaded thing to say, because maybe you wouldn't classify this as a sci-fi series, not in the same way you would like The Expanse, which is in its own way the best sci-fi series I've ever seen. So maybe I should take back what I said about this. We'll have to see how it continues to tell its story, but that last episode was something magical. Artistically, narratively, it did so much for the show and the story that we're watching, and it developed its characters while making us feel even more connected to them. And you really can't ask for much more than that. All right, I'm just going to watch this next episode. Reaction Channel. Let's ride the coattails of other people's art. You know what would have been funny about this show? Is if in some way, once things were revealed, you started to agree with what Lumen was doing. After that last episode and seeing everything that was happening on the testing floor, we're never going to do that. It's sort of like how you really don't start to see the flaws in the healthcare system until you get sick. Granted, we know something's wrong with Lumen from the jump because we've been following the employees. But you know what I mean? Things are always brought to light when you're put in a very vulnerable position and need help. Otherwise, you just sort of write things off with the age-old saying, it is what it is. But Gemma's in a very vulnerable position and needs help. And we want to help her, but not in this episode because it's episode 7. IMDb gave it a 6.7 out of 10. Not to say that IMDb is always right. It's not to say that the general consensus is always right. But it definitely influences the way that we approach things. And that is unfortunate. I hate that I'm that way, but it happens. I didn't mean to see it. The number. And now a number has been attached to this episode in my mind. Oh, dude, and they have people observing them that look exactly like them? That is fucking weird. I wonder if that actually means anything or if it's just something to make us think, like, what the fuck? Something tells me we might be just following Cobell this episode. Yeah. It's her driving away. Towards the ocean? I don't know where they are. Salt's Neck, thanks for visiting. Speaking of The Expanse, which I mentioned before, Patricia Arquette was married to Thomas Jane, played Miller. Didn't work out. Sometimes it doesn't. But I hope you guys are getting along for the sake of the kids. Or kid. Maybe you don't have any children. Where are we? Like, in relation to where we were, where are we? Definitely a Cobell episode. Maybe this is where she's from. Just throws the water bottle. Devin's. Oh, what? She did call Cobell then. Oh, maybe actually, I can't remember if she actually was dialing when they were in the house 2 episodes ago. Maybe she was. Either way, they didn't talk, and that was a good way to give us references to when this is happening.
An apple don't fall far from the gutter.
Well, that's kind of you.
On the house.
Thank you.
Some sort of drug that everyone's taking? Or is that booze? I don't know.
You want a refill?
You can top me off anytime.
You know, I was talking a lot about how we try to mitigate pain, and booze is a huge thing we use to do that. You can top me off anytime. We also got the addict at the beginning of this episode. I mean, when she was brushing her teeth. When we heard about a terrible accident that people now have to deal with. I recognize all these actors, by the way. He's been in a lot of stuff. The professor from Shameless over there died. Mentored Lip for a little bit. They used to date. I never thought I'd see you here again.
Harmony Cobell will flip my toboggan.
Oh, she's speaking for him.
You want coffee?
No one likes her.
Tables are for paying customers.
He's making the assumption.
Fine, and buy me a coffee.
Oh, well. So she feels like he owes her, or they just hate each other.
The town is older than I remembered.
He is from here, or at least has been here before.
You know, around with the market readjustment from a few years ago and the fluctuating interest rates, there was a retrenchment from some of the core infrastructure investments.
I knew this was going to be a town that we were in a place that had felt the brunt of Lumen's activities.
I need a favor.
It was such a distinct, well
Meet me at the factory.
thought out answer. He's been waiting for her to come home. I don't know if it's home, but waiting her to come here and be like, it looks like shit here. Well, the market and everything.
Get up. Close up for me.
Where do we go from here?
Soundtrack this season's been amazing. You guys were a really introverted couple, huh? He loves just standing places like It Follows.
I need you to drive me to Sissy's.
No thanks.
If they're watching the house, they'll recognize my car.
How much trouble are you in?
Enough.
Okay, this sort of answers the question I had about the last episode. Is they do surveil? Who's Sissy? Do we know who Sissy is? Is her sister or something?
I want to help you with anything.
Because we loved each other once.
We were once chums.
Close enough.
Old colleagues lift each other up.
Oh, they worked together.
Child fucking labor.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Did they both? Yeah, because she...
Kier and Imogen met at the ether mill.
They were both indoctrinated.
But I'll not be the punchy dummy for your resentments.
It's true. She is probably, arguably, as much as a victim as you. She's just continuing the cycle of abuse, whereas you chose to walk away. It was the right decision, brother. That's an apt analogy, right? Or metaphor. Employers and employee, abusive relationships, cults and culty. Nice. Threw in the back of the truck. Yeah. Oh, Devin's calling multiple times. Maybe Devin's calling as Mark is unconscious. I imagine. Right. I still think that Cobell would probably offer Mark and Devin up to get back in Lumen's good graces. Even though I think they want to kill her right now. I don't know if my reaction to this is supposed to be like, what a rundown place, but this would be an awesome place to live. This house out here? Are you kidding?
You're higher than a bearded vulture.
Tell her to drop dead for me.
Is Sissy the one who got them involved, maybe? Yep, she looks normal.
You are not welcome here.
Yep, she's definitely a cult leader. Or one of the leader of the group. One of the groups.
I do not want that huff peddler on my property.
Huff peddler. There's this drug that people are... I don't know if Huff Peddler refers to a drug that we're supposed to be aware of, or if there's just like a drug in this world that is like a MacGuffin. Not a MacGuffin, but you know what I mean.
Do you want to come down?
Yeah, she grew up here. What did that sissy Cobell?
What have you done with my things? Sold to the poor.
Sold to the poor. Sold to the poor. Not given. We took everything the poor had left, but we gave them your things.
A Mr. Drummond.
Oh,
And what did he want?
yeah.
What have you done?
Little mouse.
Mouse. That room stays shut until all who remember her sit with Kier. You know this. Give me the key.
I guess.
It's you who cursed this house with woe.
Hmm.
I will not have this quarrel.
Maybe before Lumen began, Kier was a cult leader. The company was just a byproduct of the money his cult accumulated. It's like if Scientology started a company. Sorry, Tom.
There was gratitude in her eyes to be freed from her suffering. If only she had been a believer, perhaps she would have found solace in the 9.
Oh, the 9. What I was saying before is it's kind of like, what came first, the power or the money? You know what I mean? Was the money a result of the power, or was the power a result of the money and influence? Well, you know, the relationship between those things. It probably doesn't matter what came first, but I'm assuming the cult came first now, given how old this lady is. Oh, I don't know. Kira goes back generations. He's been dead forever, so obviously the cult came first.
Mr. Egan saw Kier in you. He really did.
Kira is their deity, obviously, and the Egans are their descendants.
Such a disappointment you've proven to be. What did Drummond tell you? Return and plead forgiveness, child.
She didn't actually do anything wrong. You know, this is...
Show me mercy, just like you did with Mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the key?
This is the beginning of Harmony's disillusionment. Jesus, the Kier face she's rubbing. Kick down the door.
All you will find in there is pain.
They just left the body in there? You know, I just realized people on the outside probably don't realize the relationship between this cult and Lumen.
I found it!
But you'd think people would be aware of it. Oh, she found the key for the room. There's no body. Why'd she yell, I found it? The old lady's like, fuck, I didn't think she would. Runs upstairs, knocks her out. You know what I think? Oh, is that her as a young girl? You know what I think? I think a lot of people are going to were and probably are upset with this episode because it's such a departure from everything else that was happening, and we want to keep going with that story. But I don't mind it. Her revisiting her past. I don't mind it at all. Well, no, she's huffing. In her dead mother's hospital bed. Mitigating the pain. Thanks. All you will find in there is pain. Avoid it. She goes into there to confront it. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but this series is all about pain. It's a deconstruction of pain. What's that? It's making her sound like a whale in the ocean. How is Sissy?
Came to get you. She's not too happy about it. It's cold as shit in the truck, and I gotta get back.
Now he's talking like a normal person. I like it.
I have to find it.
Find what?
Give me a minute just to think.
The Elder Wand. Probably.
I liked her. She hated Lumen more than I did, so I needed to know.
Really?
At least she doesn't have to live with Sissy anymore.
Really? So her mother wasn't even about this. Wow, that's interesting. Her kids just got wrapped. just got wrapped up in Some crazy shit. It's just chloroform or something? The fuck? It's crazy though, right? He turns away from cure and all the nonsense. It goes to whatever this is because he needs something. It's true to life. We're all addicts. We all try to fill that hole with something. Like if I'm not moving, it hurts. You can go to some dark places when you're an overthinker. But you know what I mean? People try to fill the hole in themselves with money and sex, drugs, alcohol, work, success, status, whatever, validation. That's why all of this is so
since I was 8.
Thematically is very strong, this show, because it's drawing parallels between worship of things like literal religion and drugs and careers, money, power.
It's shameful that you sell it.
Why? He's not doing anything different than what Lumen's doing. They were lovers. I was kidding when I said that when this episode started, but sometimes you just know. Sissy's just downstairs. Or in her room. I'm sure she has a bedroom. It's like, fucker. Making this a house of ill repute. Yeah, there she is. He rushed upstairs and then they took some time. Might as well get a Sissy episode now. We took all this time. Remember when I said I'd like to live here? No, this is terrible now. They ruined the vibe. God, you guys' childhood was fucking weird. Annual reminiscences. Oh, it's a yearbook of sorts. Why'd you need that? Oh, you just looked at it. That's not what you were looking for. That's just to reassert that she was raised and educated at some private cure school. James Egan. And what was that? Jamie Egan? James? It's got to be something that's going to give her crazy leverage, right? Cure's seed or something. Sorry, it's probably not that.
Find it? Get your truck.
Maybe it's her mother's will and testament.
And watch my head.
Watch my head.
Don't tell them I was here.
I would never bear falsity to a steward of the Egans.
I had to pause it. She just said Egans. Just because you know how to communicate a certain way that you deem dignified or intelligent doesn't mean that's how you should talk to everybody. The wisest way to communicate is to do so in a way that's understood by everyone.
Lumen destroyed this town. You owe them no loyalty.
Yeah.
There was no town before the factory.
All right.
Everything that you have, you owe back to the Egans.
Fealty?
She did feel this way.
Mine! My designs! Circuit blueprint, base code, overtime contingency, Glasgow block, all of it!
Jamie was the inventor.
So I've heard.
He stole her ideas. For Severance? She did this? That's why she's obsessed with it. That's why she's obsessed with the severed floor, and that is why maybe she...
I was told Kier's knowledge is for all.
Oh my god, they took advantage of her. Of course, but in this way.
That if I sought credit, I would be banished.
Wow, that's a reveal. I didn't think she was smart enough for this. Not... Dude, Sissy, you're such a bitch.
I hope you die as painfully as she did.
It was her hand that removed the tube, not mine.
No!
Your mother was a coward. More sick in the soul than in the body.
Jesus.
I don't believe you!
I thought you were different.
For the record, if those designs aren't patented, it's not really proof, right? Or maybe they don't have those designs. They're just doing
You
things
are a weed.
based upon
just
her
as she
original,
was.
what she's done, created.
Hey, someone's coming.
Wow, so this is really just, this whole episode is just, now Cobell is really on our side. What a way to, I actually like this episode. Because now Cobell is, we flipped Cobell with this episode. So much was revealed about
Hampton, I'll see you around.
Harmony's, I'm calling her Harmony from now on. So much was revealed about her story. Great casting for Sissy.
These tippers of assholes.
Coming to these tippers fast. Yeah, now answer the call for Devin.
So listen, Mark has been reintegrating?
Oh, she's just telling.
And she hasn't killed him yet.
No, I mean, I think he's okay. But listen, we want to try something else.
Is Mark with you?
Oh, yes.
Put him on.
She's on the team.
Tell me everything.
Oh yeah! This is a great song to end with too. I liked that episode. I mean, I knew to expect it was going to be a departure because, like I said, it had bad reviews on IMDb. I'm gonna pause this quick and then back to business after hours.